Okay, welcome back to the I Already Knew podcast. We haven't reached our goals yet or achieved our dreams yet, but that's okay because we want to use this podcast to document that and more importantly, document the things that we find are moving the needle for us and are really helpful for us. So hopefully this gives you guys some value. We want this to be really value driven and to give you guys pointers on things that have helped us and in hopes that it's going to help you guys in some way.
Yeah.
Thank you, my love, for coming on. You're the best.
You're welcome.
Lily has agreed to do this, and
On my holiday.
on her holiday, so she's going to be getting paid in some way. I told her I'll give her 50% of whatever this makes, but she hasn't signed the deal yet.
One whole dollar.
Yeah, exactly.
If that.
I want to get straight into it. I want this to be really value driven, like I said, and the podcast is going to be split. I've said this before, into first half fitness, wellness, training based, back half music based. So for you guys following along or wanting to follow along, you can skip to the music bit, you can skip through or brush through the fitness stuff if that's all you're here for. I just want to be completely transparent with that so you guys can get out of this whatever you want. Let's get straight into the fitness stuff. One step's been going great. I've got a few things in my head that I want to talk about that have really been helping with my fitness journey. And then if you can think of anything sort of while we're discussing it and talking about it, you can also do that. But I want to start jumping straight into the hybrid space specifically. Everyone's talking about aerobic base at the moment and how to get the best aerobic base. And I think that just being consistent is the best way to do that. And the best athletes that we've seen and that we observe are the ones that have just been going at it forever and ever. Like you see the kids who have been doing cross country since they were kids and then they moved into another sport. It's like that aerobic base definitely transfers.
But what does that mean? What is an aerobic base?
It's just your ability to do work, put simply. And so many people in this functional fitness space at the moment, the event time has been moved. So it's not like a CrossFit workout anymore where we're trying to learn to be as fast as possible over 4 minutes. It's like all these workouts are like long workouts where people's pace is up here for 20 minutes and then it's down here and people are trying to learn, like, how do I sustain that output for long periods of time? And everyone has landed on this word, like aerobic base, or concept aerobic base. So I think to answer your question, it's just like being able to do work and maintain output for long periods of time. And that's the way I see it. And that seems to move the needle to a point for most people. I think a lot of people are lacking that, but aerobic base will only get you so far. And it's important to consider that you need to do the actual thing and the sport specific thing in order to get to the top level or to really, I guess, reach your full potential in that area. So I've been telling a lot of my guys, like, we need to back off on the running and do a bit of biking or doing a little bit of stair stepper or mixing things up. And that will help improve your overall base for work, but that won't help you as much at the top level to get specific on your ability to run for really long periods of time. You have to do those long runs and train those long runs in order to do that. But if you think of it as like a pyramid, on the bottom, you need that aerobic base first before you then go and try to do all the complicated stuff and the long distance running. You need the base down the bottom first. That's sort of what I've found. I've also been looking into the interference effect and how strength training affects the endurance and that aerobic base and the ability to train that. And what I'm finding is that high stress and low stress days are so important, where you can't move from weight training hard one day to hard running the next day, because that is high stress into high stress. And people mistake it for, I'm doing weights one day, so then I can run the next day because I didn't run the day before, and vice versa. I'm not doing weights now, I'm doing running. But in my experience and in training a lot of people and in looking at a lot of peer-reviewed research, it really does affect it because your body doesn't know the difference between different types of stress, whether it's just weightlifting or it's hard running. It's both high stress. So trying to identify which things and what intensities are high stress and then avoiding doing that back-to-back days is really going to help your training, and making sure you go from putting all those things together on one day, maybe you do some heavy lifting and some leg training and some fast running, which I know a lot of people are not doing in one day, but maybe think about it, and then go and do all the easy long stuff on the next day.
But how would you lay that out for somebody that's come to you and said, I want to get really strong, so I want to be able to lift for example, if I came to you and I said, I want to lift a 100-kilo deadlift because that's one of my goals for the year, but I also want to get an hour open solo time. How would you lay out my training week for that to then be able to fit in high stress lifting days and high stress aerobic days?
Yeah, I would batch all of it together. So I'd give you a high stress interval running day immediately followed by weightlifting.
But what if I don't have time for that?
It might mean you just need to shorten the sessions. So we get that a lot. It's like, I can't do 8 by 1K reps and then straight into 8 bodybuilding movements and 3 sets of 8 on those, because that's going to take me just short of 2 hours, that's a long session. So it's like, okay, can we get you to do 4 sets of 4 minutes running hard, followed by a quick refuel, have some water, have some electrolytes, have some carbs, and then go into your strength session, and we just shorten that and make it high intensity, high quality work where you might just do 2 top sets of a lift and you're just following your push, pull, hinge, lunge, and carry movements so that you're still training all the fundamental movement patterns.
But do you think that I'm doing high enough volume then to actually improve on those things if I'm doing less than what you would prescribe for somebody to do, ideally, if they had the time to do the longer sessions?
I think the key is to test and to see if you're moving the needle. So just try this concept, and for anyone out there, try high stress, low stress, and come back to it and retest your deadlift in 6 weeks and see if you did move the needle. See how your running feels, see if your heart rate's going lower for longer efforts after doing those low stress but long aerobic days. Like, still a low stress day can still be 2 hours of movement, but it's just at a capped heart rate. So you're only allowed to go up to 140 BPM or 130 BPM, changes from person to person. But I would say just try it and do the high stress stuff in whatever time period you have, whether that's 60 minutes, split it up into half running, half weightlifting. We also find that the interference effect happens less if you finish on weightlifting rather than doing something that's a little bit more slow twitch, like distance running. Even 4 by 4 minutes is still counted as that. Finish on your weightlifting, eat straight afterwards, good protein, good carbs, and just see. Test your deadlift. If you feel like it's got weaker, it's like, yeah, maybe you need a little bit more volume. If it's got better and you've got better with your running, then it's like, hey, that's a win. And I think a lot of people, that's a good question. A lot of people overestimate how much volume they need. And we're actually finding that with this sort of training, as long as you've got high intensity sets at a couple times a week, you can get away with 4 heavy sets of deadlift split up over 2 sessions. So maybe on a Tuesday, you're doing 2 heavy sets of a hard deadlift, 6 reps, and then you're doing that again on the Friday, 2 sets, heavy 6 reps. That's enough to maintain and even push forward your strength if you're really hitting those sets hard enough, rather than doing really high volume, doing all the accessory stuff, doing all this. And sure, if you really want to push just that, maybe you need a bit more work. But I think if you're spreading out the volume over different movement patterns, you still can hold on to a lot of that strength. Because at the end of the day, it also depends on your goal. And if you want a sub 60, you need more conditioning arguably than you need top end strength. But it's useful to maintain it. So
yeah, but some people have the goal of both.
Some people have the goal of both. That is true. Yeah. What else? I want to talk about fueling. I've had so many people have trouble with early symptoms of REDS, relative energy deficiency syndrome, and it's super common in females too, just because eating is a little bit of, there's a stigma around eating, especially with athletic girls, of the healthy food and the non-healthy food conversation, and it really sucks that they're at definitely high risk of REDS, but so are guys, by the way, but girls definitely at high risk. And I really just want to emphasize fuel around your sessions and the importance of processed foods around your sessions, which for girls especially, it's like oh no, that's not healthy food, so I'm not going to eat it. And there's been a lot of people on that side of the fence of like, for example, you should be having 30 to 40 grams of easy to process carbs before your session, during your session, depending on how long the session is, sometimes even more, and afterwards. And 30 to 40 grams of processed carbs can look like a Gatorade, it can look like a handful of lollies, it can look like sour worms, it can look like cereal. And all those things to a lot of people are just things that they won't eat because they're trying to be healthy, and it's really affecting their performance, but more importantly affecting how they feel during the day, their energy levels, their hormones, their cycle, all these things that is just like really affecting your quality of life, which is so much more important than performance, you know.
Yeah, but it's not even benefiting your performance in the long run, because
no,
the lack of energy that you're putting into your body is only going to make your performance decline.
No, this is what I'm saying. Like I say, the first problem is performance, but it's not really. It's like quality of life. It's also affecting your performance.
Yeah.
And you're leaving performance gains on the table, but people think they're not because they're worried about eating healthy.
Yeah.
And so I want to sort of hash that out for someone as well, because I've had so many people, once I've said this, then go, okay, well, what does a day look like then? Do I just eat lollies all the time and fuel up on that all the time? And I think of it as a switch. So before your workout, you're flipping this switch from like unprocessed foods, think healthy, like typically healthy diet of whole foods, quality sources of meat, quality sources of protein, sweet potato, high fiber foods, brown rice, vegetables, think all that. That's your healthy foods. You flip the switch from that into processed foods just before your session, like 60 to 30 minutes before your session. And that looks like lollies, that looks like sugar, that looks like very quickly digestible carbs, and it doesn't look like high fiber, high fat, even protein is sought with caution a little bit because it's not as easily digestible as carbs. So I think people really need to start to learn about flipping that switch, and then post-workout, you get in that quick source of carbs again, 30 to 40 grams with protein this time, and then an hour after, you're back to unprocessed foods and the healthy foods, the sweet potato, the quality sources of protein. And you're flipping that switch constantly, which gets really hard when you're doing double sessions because you've got that to do in the morning and then you've got this small period in the middle. And then right at the end, you're flipping the switch again. So I'm sort of on the fence at the moment about double sessions because it affects your gut a little bit in the sense that you're always swapping between processed and unprocessed foods. It's definitely doable for sure, but it's sought with caution and it takes a little bit of experience and trial and error to see what your gut as an individual can handle. Anything more on REDS or energy deficiency as a girl, obviously, who's definitely suffered with it as well?
It's just not worth it. Like, you feel so crap from not fueling your body right that, yeah, it's just not worth it to put your body under that stress to feel like you're fulfilling a good diet.
Yeah.
And I think you've got to remember that food is fuel and carbs are energy, and that's what's going to push you through these hard sessions and going to, help your body recover and perform better rather than just giving yourself a lack of what it needs.
And I've also seen the argument of, well, I'm chasing performance, but I'm also chasing aesthetics. Excuse me. So I'm going to keep my calories low so that I lose a little bit of fat. And the thing I say to that is we've seen girls on our training programs who have started to eat more than what they ever have, and their body fat has gone down and their muscle mass has gone up.
Well, that's because when your body is deprived of something that it needs, it gets stressed. It gets put under stress and
it can't function properly.
Your stress response can cause, bloating and inflammation. And maybe like what you're not desiring.
By doing what you think is working.
And by not fueling your body correctly, you are creating stress for your mind and for your body, and your body's then trying to compensate for that lack of fuel or that lack of energy that it has through seeking it elsewhere. That's just putting stress on your body. And I think, like, as somebody that's been in sport, it's hard not to, but we've got to not fall into that trap of aesthetics. Like, what is an aesthetic body? You know, all bodies are beautiful the way that they are, and they are all enough the way that they are. And if you're giving your body everything that it needs to be able to function, then you're doing perfectly fine. And that should be your number one priority in life, is giving your body what it needs to be able to survive and to be a healthy body that is able to give you the best quality of life that you can and be able to do all those things that you want it to do, rather than chasing an aesthetic, because we're all built differently and there's not one type of aesthetic that is better than the other. And so we've just got to step away from that and start appreciating our bodies for what it can do for us instead, and showing that sort of level of gratitude for it.
And I tell you what, once, because I've seen this with some of the girls I train too, once they have that understanding of, oh, I can get performance gains and eat more than I ever have at the same time and reach those goals with my body looking the way and feeling the way I want it to, then it's game over, because you get the best of both worlds. You get to eat more, you get to look, you get to feel better, and these girls are unstoppable now. So it's really cool to have made that switch, but it came at first from them letting go of that, of the aesthetic point of view, and just being like, my body's going to be what it's going to be, and I'm just going to trust this process and see what happens. But trust me, once you actually try it and you get the results from it, there will be no going back. Really. Dudes as well, you guys need to be fueling for your sessions afterwards. I even don't bother with the cool down now without refueling. So I'll do the hard session, especially on those hard days. And if I've got a 5 or 10 minute cool down of a jog or a bike, I'm getting protein and carbs in before that to start the recovery process, and then carrying on with the cool down. So there's a little tip too. There wasn't really too much that I wanted to touch on top of that. That's just sort of what's been in my head a lot lately, just from seeing what people's problems are and trying to solve them. And that's what a lot of this is, to be honest, especially with One Step. It's just like, I have people on board. What are their problems? If it's their problem, it's probably someone else's problem as well. And if I can just solve that for them, I'm really solving it for a lot of other people, and maybe that can help a wider audience. So
and I think you've also got to remember that not one person's body is going to be the same, and so what helps for somebody else might not be someone else's answer. But at least you're adding a tool into your toolkit, and you can just, I suppose, support people through the challenge that they might be presented with, and
they're just trends,
and just helping guide them through it, and giving them, I guess it's another tool to add to your pocket, that you now have an option, or another option that somebody can try if they are faced with that challenge. But not isolating someone's experience.
For sure. That's very true.
But you're never alone in what you're experiencing.
And it helps to see that other people are going through similar things sometimes as well. Definitely drop in the comments how you guys feel about that, or if you want us to sort of talk more about that sort of stuff, or what you do want us to talk about in the fitness space. And now it's onto the music too. Amongst all of this and amongst all the training, I've been releasing a new song every 2 weeks for the start of the year, and the goal is for all of 2026 to release a new song every second Friday. So that'll be 26 songs for 2026, actually.
That's good.
It's 20.
When did you notice that?
When I was like the 5th song in, and I went to do I did 26 songs for the year of 2026, and then I wrote 5 out of 26.
And then you realized it was 26. Not when you first wrote it?
No, not when I first wrote it, but now it's sort of become a part of the journey, 26 songs, 2026. That's the journey, and I just want to keep putting my art out there. I'm making these songs regardless, and the way I see it is I want you guys to see all of the journey. So my first song objectively to look back on, I don't want anyone to hear, but it's up there. It's like, it's on streaming platforms. You can go and listen to it now. I don't recommend you do, and I'm not saying
The
do
first
that.
song you ever released?
Yeah, not the first song I ever made. That probably is not up. No, it's definitely not. But the first song back in the day when I was like, I'm gonna do this music thing, like objectively, it's not it. Like that
There's
song.
some real cool videos out there on YouTube.
Yeah, there's some cool TikToks out there too. Be careful going back through the TikTok if you guys are gonna do that. But the whole mindset behind not deleting it is just like so that people can see, and I hope that inspires someone else out there of like, oh my god, if he looked like that when he started, and maybe people still think that now, but it is what it is.
It's definitely gotten better.
It's definitely, well, thank you, thank you. But if someone can see that and be like, they want to start, but they're like, nah, I'm not there yet, or I'm not this yet. Like, I got to be here before that, or maybe it gives them inspiration to just start. And for me, that was the most productive thing ever. And whenever I stop and I go, oh, I need to go inwards into myself and stop putting my art out, that's actually when I feel the worst. Typically when I perform the worst in terms of the songs I'm making. And yeah, when I just don't feel aligned.
Do you know what's interesting about that concept of like people convincing themselves that they're too old or like too late to start something that they want to start? Is that like I thought that for every sport that I wanted to get into after I quit gymnastics.
No way.
I was like, I really want to do sport, but I didn't have any experience in any sports because I wasn't allowed to try them. But I was like, I really want to try another sport, but I don't know what to try. And then I stopped myself from trying things because I thought I was too old to like be a beginner at something. And so I said, and this was when I was like 16.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm too old. Like, it's
crazy.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
And now I look back and I was like, and I'm like, why didn't I just start it? Like, that was so dumb of me. Like, why did I convince myself that that was even a thing?
Yeah.
And I look back and I'm like, 16 is so young still.
Yeah.
Like, I was out there thinking I was so old.
It's always like yesterday was the best time to start the thing in your head, but today is the second best thing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really all you've got. So it's like, just do it. Just get out there.
You can't change the past. You can't predict the future.
Just go.
So just live in the present moment and just chase your dreams, whatever they are, no matter your age. Like, you only get one life. Who cares what other people think about it?
Yeah.
As long as you're not harming anyone or doing any damage to this world by, doing the thing you want to do, then who cares what anyone thinks about it? If it makes you happy and it fulfills you, then go for it.
And I'm the best version of myself when I just move, when I just put stuff out. And that is just me. And I know that's not the same for everyone. It's going to be different. But for me, I'm definitely the best version of myself when I just put a song out, even if it performs horribly. I'm like, cool, but the next one's going to be sick. And so it just keeps me moving. Whereas if I sit and wait, and I've done this before, I've like really prepped a release for 8 weeks and then it's come out. And sometimes it's gone well, sometimes it hasn't. But even regardless of that, it's just like I wasn't in motion as much as I am now. And that's why I've come back to this. Because for you guys that don't know, I did a song every Friday for a whole year. And again, to come back to that music, I don't think it's anywhere near the standard the music is now. But the difference in the music from the first week to the last week is astounding. I think. And I think most people would agree if they went back and looked at it. So all I'm chasing is the same thing this year of looking back from the first song to the last song. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. But even like thinking back of like a fear of judgment of like, oh, I don't want to release anything, or I don't want to post something on Instagram or TikTok because what if it flops? There's like, what if it doesn't? Like, what if it succeeds?
What if it can go better than you expected?
Exactly. And who cares if it flops? I think like I sometimes start like second guessing myself, being like, oh my God, this is really cringe. Like, I don't want to post this. Like, should I post this? People are going to start talking behind my back, blah, blah, blah. And then I just think like, you know what? Like, who really cares? This is such a minuscule moment of my whole life.
Yeah.
And if it flops, it flops. If it doesn't, like, that's even better. And if it helps at least one person, then that's my whole job done.
Yeah.
And so I do get hard on myself and think like, oh, this video only got 1,000 views or whatever. I'm like, that's 1,000 people that could have seen it and got something from it or helped them push on to their next day that didn't think what I was doing was cringy or embarrassing.
Yeah, and change someone's day.
And so for that, the positive outweighs the negative of somebody that was my friend growing up thinking I'm doing like cringy stuff, posting on Instagram or whatever. But then this other random stranger, you know, it's helped save their life.
Yeah.
And to me, that's so valuable and that's worth
Yeah.
a whole lot more. And it's the same with your music. Like, music is like art, or music is art, and it speaks to people in different ways. And, you know, your music, or you just sharing your journey, or even just posting your music could just impact somebody in a way that you're not even realizing.
Yeah.
And, like, could be their purpose to, you know, continue on, or, you know, you could be the one person that they look forward to releasing their music every second Friday.
Imagine that. Yeah.
It could be possible. You don't know.
Cool. It's so cool to think that there's people out there that are like, oh yeah, he's releasing this week, which who knows if there is or not, but normally that's just me. Like, I get excited about that. And it's really cool to think that someone else might as well.
There would be. Like, you think about so many people in the world love music, and so many people in the world use music for their therapy and rely on music to help them get through hard moments. And, you know, they're feeling anxiety, they put their headphones in and they listen to their favorite artist, and you could be one of their favorite artists. And that's helping them get through, like, really hard challenges that they might be facing.
You know what I thought of today that I've thought of before is that music is the closest thing to magic we have in this world. And I know that sounds super dramatic, but let me just like practicalize it for you, where it's this audible thing that floats through the air as a wave, comes into your ear and makes you feel anger or sadness or passion, and or it gives you goosebumps. And there's nothing else in the world that travels through the air in these little waves and goes into your brain and makes you feel that. Nothing.
And like, different levels of music play differently, like different sound waves act differently on brain waves and how you respond. So, like, I think it's like a 520 hertz sound wave or whatever. I don't know what that means.
There's the psychologist's review of how music is magic.
Is that the right word? Hertz? HZ?
Yeah.
Like 520 or something. And there's another one, I think it's 225, I believe.
Yeah.
Those sound waves, levels.
Yeah, sound waves.
Sound waves actually act upon your brain on a certain way that helps calming and soothe. That has like a calming and soothing effect. So they'll often use those levels of sound waves in like meditation music.
I'm telling you, it's the closest thing we have to magic in this world, and I love it. I love it to death. I just did a poll on my Instagram, so I'm just going to get them up, and we're going to go through. I think there was only one or two. When are we going to see a full-length Shep project?
What does that mean?
An album.
Oh.
You know, when are we going to see an album? Because what you guys are seeing at the moment is just a single every 2 weeks.
Someone asked that?
You know? Yeah, someone asked that. And we just put a poll up, and then they just asked that. When are we going to see a full-length Shep project? I just think if you're an independent artist and you haven't had your moment yet, and every artist has their moment where they come onto the scene, whether it's like super defined or not, every artist definitely has a moment where things sort of change for them. And if you haven't had that moment as an independent artist yet, I don't think enough people care to listen to a full album, but they might care enough to just give one single a time of day. So that's where I'm coming from with the whole new song every 2 weeks. I'm just trying to stay in people's ear and have a bit of a business mindset around it.
So basically, in short form, the answer to that question is when you guys blow up one of his songs, that's when he'll give you a full-length project.
I definitely am still romanticizing the idea of an album, and I've got songs that are ready for a project and an idea behind a project.
So make it happen. Top.
But at the moment, I want to do this for a living. I'm going to be 100% open about that. I want to do this as a job. And I think the best way to get there is to build people's trust from singles and putting them out. So that's...
And also it'll probably happen when you put me on a song, which is actually maybe coming out. You can only hear me, what's it called?
What's what called?
When I'm quiet.
Your backup vocals?
No.
Ad-libs?
No. What I was listening to, like, remember when I was listening to those manifestation videos?
Subliminals?
Yeah. You can only hear my voice subliminally,
Yeah.
but I am there. And
She's
because
in
I'm there, it's going to be the best song
It might
that
blow
you've
up.
ever released.
Might blow up. Another question is, ask Lily how I can get bigger arms.
I know exactly who asked that.
How does this person get bigger arms?
You don't need bigger arms.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're perfect just the way they are.
Nice, there you have it.
They fit in the shirts beautifully.
Good.
But if that is your long-term goal, just do some bicep curls.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you'll probably be popping these puppies out.
Okay, nice. I think that's everything, guys. Like I said, I want this to be value-driven, and we're just going to bring up things that we think will bring you guys value. So if you want to know more about X or Y, just let us know. And yeah, we're going to do these as often as possible. We're in a lot of cool locations at the moment, so we're coming out of the studio. Some podcast episodes will be in the studio as well, obviously, but some won't be. We've got this set up now.
We're in Thailand.
Yeah, we're in Thailand at a place called Hua Hin. It's been amazing, and we're flying tomorrow. We're going back to Perth, and we're prepping for the Elite 15 in Brisbane. So I'm really keen for that and really grateful to be on the lineup for that.
Really need to pee.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, big boy. Lock it in.
All the best.
Seal deal.
Thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you in the next one. See ya.